So, as I mentioned before, it's the first or the fifth Sunday of the month. And on the fifth Sunday of the month, we do a special healing celebration, which is to re-ground ourselves and remind ourselves of the power of this New Thought teaching, because we're creating our lives according to our beliefs. And by changing our beliefs, we get to change the experience of life that we're having. So healing is not fixing something that's broken, although a lot of people in common language kind of use it that way. So I got these little boo-boos on my finger. The skin on my fingertip to dry it out, and there's a little crack there, and it hurts. And ow. And so healing is providing the environment so that my body can do what it does, which is to close those up and bring me back into the experience of comfort and health and vitality and alignment, and the place where I can use said finger to unlock my iPhone and my computer, because it's either got grease on it from being taken care of, or the fingerprint doesn't match whatever the computer thinks it should be now. Healing is the return to that balance and harmony that is the natural order of things. Joe's a nurse and she does wound care, and the body heals, and the medical profession is charged with finding and creating the environment through which the healing can happen. And the same thing is true in every area of our lives. So if there is somebody who is feeling lonely and they want to be connected with other people and in a group, then the healing is returning to the possibility where they can be in alignment with that experience. And other people might feel that they're being crowded and there's too much going on, and they want to be alone. And so healing for them is to find themselves in a place, in an experience where they're being supported in what it is that they're looking for. So healing isn't that you're going to be together with a group of people or that you're going to be alone by yourself. Healing is the alignment and being okay with where we are. And that's not to say that it's just giving up and say, oh, well, this situation is horrible, but I'm just going to have to deal with it and live with it. That's not healing. That's not what this teaching is about. It's not about accepting what is not acceptable. It's about opening up to a new possibility and to engage in that new possibility and then live in that new possibility in a new and different way. So many, many years ago, I got the notion that I wanted to try rock climbing to begin with, at an indoor rock climbing gym. And so I took myself and a friend over to the local climbing gym and I tried it, and it was fun. And there are some people there who were really good. I mean, they can do very technical climbing on overhangs and, just spectacular. And I tried doing some of that, and I actually did it for weekly for a long time, and I got much better at it. But I got to a level where it was about as much as I could do. I do not have the physique of the typical rock climber, and it became clear to me that I wasn't going to get to that higher level because I wasn't willing to work for it that hard, and I wasn't particularly suited for it. But in a situation like that, if I were longing to be at a different level of climbing than I was, then the problem would be the difference between the experience I was having and the experience I was wanting. And what I did was I realized that I was doing exactly what I wanted to be doing in those climbing sessions, and I was able to go and engage and have fun and not worry about the fact that other people were doing stuff that I wasn't going to be able to do. I could sometimes watch them and it would be wonderful. And I didn't have to feel bad about it, and I didn't have to limit my own experience to be in that place of alignment. And in so many ways, that's what's going on for us. One of the stories that I love to tell is a guy who's got a car. It's a beater, and it just has nothing but problems for him. And he's spending lots of money repairing it, and it's not reliable, and it smells. And so he's driving down the road and he's thinking about this, and he's getting more and more and more upset about this car, and it's not serving, it's not working. And he finally gets to the point where he just pulls over to the side of the street. There's a guy walking down the sidewalk. He gets out of the car. He hands the guy the keys. He says, I want you to take my car. And the guy takes the keys, and the fellow who'd been driving walks down the sidewalk, and he feels lighter and lighter and lighter because he just made this this change in his life, and he's gone from having this car that's a problem for him to being free of it. Meanwhile, there's a guy who's been walking forever, and all he's wanted was to be able to have a car. And suddenly, out of nowhere, he's got a car. And the healing in both cases is that they came into alignment with what it was that they were desiring. It was the same car, it was the same two people, but it's a different experience of the situation. So we can use that for ourselves. If there's an experience that we're having that we're not liking, then we are responsible for identifying what is it that we're not liking, and then do the pivot where we turn away from the shadow towards the light. And instead of saying, this is what I don't like, say, what do I want to have instead? Is it going to be enough for me to just give away the car? Or do I have to replace the car with a different car? Do I have other things, other constraints? What's going to make me feel good in this situation? Because just dealing with the negatives that we're faced with, just looking at my finger and saying, ow, this hurts, ow, this hurts, ow, this hurts, is not going to fix anything. There might be some steps that I get to take to encourage that healing process to unfold. And I get to engage with that, and also to be patient and supportive of the situation and the circumstance, of not trying to do things with my injury that are not going to be serving me. There's a lot of ways that the pieces are fitting together. And what we want to do is turn to the experience that we want to have, and then allow ourselves to be guided as to what is ours to do and what is ours to let go of in that circumstance, that situation. And then do that. That's an important part. And then do that. We can spend a lot of time sitting on a purple pillow and say, I'm getting this guidance about the next perfect move that I can take, and then get off the purple pillow and forget about it and come back to it the next time we sit down to meditate. And if we don't take the steps, if we don't actually engage in our life in the world around us in a way that's going to allow that goodness to come in, if we sit around and wait for God to cure and fix and change and modify everything without us doing anything, we may wind up waiting for a long time. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with waiting for a long time. It's mentioned in the reading that there are issues that adults are dealing with, and they're the same ones that we were dealing with when we were in high school, at a different level, in a different manner. And sometimes the same sorts of things come up for us again. And we get to keep working on them. And we get to go deeper, and we get to lift ourselves higher. And the healing is the transformation that happens as we go from it being completely all-consuming in our lives and making us miserable because it's not going the way that we want it to be going, to being something that is a goal and a desire that we're having. And we understand that it's in process. And then we get to engage with it, and we get to do our part and allow the good to come about. The prayer work story that Breen told today is just a perfect example, where he's got his granddaughters and they wanted to go to the carnival, but it was going to be raining, so they didn't go to the carnival. And as he's looking at that, he wants the weather to be perfect to support the activities that they're doing. The intention was not for the rain to be there or to not be there. The intention was keeping your eye on the prize. What's the experience that you want to have with the granddaughters? What's the experience you want to have with your life, with your work, with your health, with whatever you're engaging with? What's the experience you want to have? And we broaden it out a little bit. So the experience that we're going to have is one that's fun and joyous and uplifting and connecting. And it turns out that instead of going to the outdoor carnival, you can go to the indoor children's theater and see a wonderful play, which is an opportunity to laugh and connect, and also to do some personal growth. It doesn't matter whether it was raining or not. In fact, the perfect weather was for it to be raining, so that was what was guiding the plans. It would have been equally simple for them to sit at home, muttering and complaining that they couldn't go to the carnival because it was raining, and watching something on television and filling up their time. And that's not the way the gift works. The healing was the revealing of the truth that there is this different possibility. And the same thing is true for each of us and for all of us. So what we're going to do is we're going to set a new intention. So there's something going on in your life, maybe multiple somethings going on in your life, where you're yearning for something a little different, and you describe it as better. And Carolyn's going to lead us in a meditation where you get to open to what that is for you and then set an intention. And then after we've done the meditation and you have the intention, we're going to do a ritual with a candle lighting. So we're going to be able to activate our intention for that newness in our lives and partner with that infinite creative intelligence that creates everything to open the channel to allow that goodness, that healing to happen in our lives. So I'm going to turn it over to Carolyn now to lead us in that meditation.
Let us begin by closing our eyes, shutting out all that sensory input and drawing in a deep breath and inviting in all of the blessings that have been offered to us thus far in the celebration. And on the exhale, extend this invitation to our consciousness to move into a state of stillness and receptivity. And as we are doing that, if we encounter any resistance, to shower that part of our consciousness with love. Thank it for its attempt to protect us and reassure it that in moving into stillness and receptivity, in no way implies annihilation or disempowerment. So often our conscious minds are speaking so loudly that we can scarcely hear what our heart is attempting to reveal to us. So in the next breath, draw that in and open wide your heart space. As you exhale, allow it full and free openness, that openness to speak. Allow your heart to speak and know that your breath returns to a normal pace, which is perfect and right for you. And just ask your heart, what is your heart longing for? Is it peace? Is it a greater sense of joy, of harmony? Is it that perfect balance between physical, emotional, and spiritual health and well-being? Is it an avenue through which you can share your gifts and your wisdom with the universe? Is it a greater sense of connectivity to all there is? Is it prosperity? Is it a loving relationship? It is all different for each of us. So my invitation to you right now is to join me in the quiet and to listen to what your heart is telling you, and to connect with what your deepest desires are. And use that information to create an intention. Together we enter into the silence and allow that process to unfold. Take in a deep breath. And as you release it, bring your attention back to your surroundings and light your own candle, or Reverend Bill is more than happy to light a candle for you. And know that in and of itself, that candle has no power. The lighting of this candle is an outward and symbolic representation of the activation of that intention that you have declared. And as we're doing that, Bernard is going to share another song with us.
There's a bird in the morning. He awakens without warning. Spreads his little wings, takes off for the sky. There's a child in a window. He sees that little bird go. Feels his heart take wing. He doesn't question why. Why did the sun rise? Why does a bird fly? Oh, money brought me home. All hidden treasures given beyond measure. I'll be thankful for this morning and the mercy of my life. Oh, 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 oh. Say yeah.
Wonderful. Let's activate that intention. Thank you, Karen, for guiding us through that intention. First is prayer. Prayer is preparation. Next, for that desire of the heart, where it's the seat of the emotions, we clean out all conflict with ourselves, jobs, our boss, partner, friends, our food, the weather, because we always take that in the next step where we at. And sometimes people, places, and things pays for that suitcase, extra suitcase that we're carrying. Let the law of mind be that sweeper to clean, making the crooked way straight, being a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. In order for that intention to be activated, we got to respond. It's just like we want the light in the room, turn on the switch of life. We respond, and God correspond to our response. But we always take the first step, opening ourselves, activate turn on the power that's within each one of us. Let the flow of spirit flow through us, in us, around us, as us, because it is us. It's spirit speaking to us, the voice of God, the intuition, the inner, always from inside of us, where that power is at. Bring it out. It could be 110, 220. Nuclear, stronger than that. Just turn it on. Activate that power within each one of us, that joy. Sing like Bernard been singing, with that peace and that love, that intention. He brought the intention to soothe our soul with the music. Reverend brought the intention to give us some information, some transformation, some words of wisdom, that meditation. Everything that's happening here right now is healing for our soul, for our mind, for our body, spiritual, mental, physical. It's the same law working in different planes of life. So with gratitude, we keep on living every day, activating our desires of our heart. That's the imagination. Make that imagination specific and direct and with joy and with harmony. And it will be ours to have that great experience of life here and right now. So it is. Amen.